No lah, I think it's the same thing to me.
Huh? Really, man?
It's the same
Because
thing.
now I see I'm the main person, but you will be the one talking, right? It should be you first.
Okay.
Then
We'll
only
try this. I've never tried this before.
Ah.
Okay. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to Sembang Santai Marketing, everyone. I'm your host Ravin, and I'd like to wish everyone a very happy Chinese New Year to those who are celebrating. Today, I'm here alongside Mr. Alexander Ang, CEO of Media Funnel, and also a digital marketer to talk about zero-cost social media marketing. So, if you are into marketing and you are into social media and everything like that, do stay tuned to learn more about digital marketing and how you can save costs by just using social media to do your marketing for you. It is a pleasure to have you here with you. It's a pleasure to have you here with us, Mr. Alex. So, Mr. Alex, tell us what you do as a digital marketer on a daily basis.
Hi, Ravin. Thank you for, first of all, like to say thank you everyone for participating this talk. And we have about 13 live people right now. Just thank you very much for spending this time. Yeah. Now, I'm in the industry for about 7 years. So the digital marketer daily routine is to learn and to understand, be aware of the sentiment of the market, like the algorithm changes of the platform. Each social media, they have regular changes and policies. Second thing that we do is to always need to find a creative way and angles on how do we optimize the campaign, and also consult our clients on the marketing strategy regularly. Yeah.
All right, so Mr. Alex, let's dive into our topic here today: zero-cost social media marketing.
Sure.
As you know, we've been living in an endemic for the past 2 years, right?
Mm.
So I think a lot of companies are moving towards using social media to do their marketing for them. So how do you think companies can use social media without spending any money? Okay, I mean I know it's a little bit hard to say without
To
spending
believe.
any money. Yeah, it's very hard to say without spending any money, but how do we reduce cost, or in the best scenario, not using any of their budget for marketing in social media?
Okay, these are very good questions. There's also something I would like to share with all of you here who are present here to learn about zero cost social media marketing. Is it possible? The answer is yes. Um, but there's a pro and con. So I will share with you a little bit more in a more details level. So I just want to clarify, like social media marketing, right? What do most people think about social media marketing is about? What do? They promote their things and ask people to buy, right? But if you look at the words social media, social, what does social mean? It means have to be social online, right? So for example, if you go to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, what do we do usually? So what do you do, Ravin, when you open up your Facebook, you scroll, what do you do?
Okay, for instance, let's take Facebook. Usually I just keep up with what people are doing online and all
Right.
that, how are people keeping up with their lives. And
Yes.
most of the times nowadays, I think since like we are living in an
Yeah.
endemic, we do see a
Yeah.
lot of ads and
Right. Right.
uh,
So
companies
you
promoting their products.
correct. So what you do usually is looking at people's updates, what people are working on right now, connect with your friends, right? So
Yep.
this is what we should do also. That is being social online with other people before we're talking about selling, right? So zero cost social media marketing comes when you have a relationship with your audience, whether you are using page or you are using profile. So say I have 2,000 friends in my personal profile. So out of 2,000, probably I'm very close with 10% of them, right? It's about 200. And how does zero cost social media marketing works is you use your personal profile as a brand, right? To showcase about your expertise and your positioning, like you're the go-to person, right? So from there, we generate leads and interest. Then we funnel them into a follow-up process, which is sales funnel. So what do people most of the time what they do is they sell. So if you straight away sell online in social media marketing, most likely you're not going to get any conversion unless you run ads, right? Running ads is different story. Huh? So running ads, you are talking about paid ads already. So zero cost works the other way around. You need to build a better relationship with people first, or when people trust you first before they want to buy from you. Yeah. So that's where it comes in. So one thing that we have to remember is social media is a place for connection, engagement, and being sociable. You want to build rapport with people. You want to build trust with people. Then you only ask for sale, right? So that way it's more effective, right?
All right. So, Mr. Alex, so okay, since we're talking about zero cost social media marketing, right? Let's take a company which is just starting to do their marketing online, like a new company. Let's say, like, for example, and all that. So, what is your advice for new companies like this who are just starting their business? What is your advice to these kind of companies in terms of, like, social media marketing? How do you maximize the power of social media to market your new product or services?
Okay. Now, if you want to brand the company itself, when you create a Facebook page, uh, it's a little bit difficult to actually start getting sales immediately, right? Unless we run ads. So my suggestions to people who just starting out, they have limited budget. Now this is for people who have limited budget and then they want to test the market, or they just want to try things out without having a lot of risk. Then zero cost social media marketing could be some alternative for the person. Say if I want to sell hair gel, right? So let's say I realize that this hair gel is very good. I want to sell this online on social media. So the first thing that I should do, right, is I have to brand myself as the persons who are very good when it comes to hair, what do you call, taking care of a person's scalp, right? Or you are someone who have knowledge on this particular area. One thing you want to do is to make sure to let as many people as possible to know about your product, but not to sell, right?
Yeah.
Say you are hair gel specialist, hair gel consultant. So this is how I would position myself in my social media space. So I want to let all my friends know, all my family relatives, my ex-colleague, my ex-bosses know that I'm actually a hair gel specialist consultant. So my profile picture has to reflect a little bit of what I do. My bio description has some what do you call a niche statement? We call it a niche statement, or the pitch. The statement a little bit about what I'm good at, and then how do I create awareness? Bring awareness is to share a little bit more content related to hair gel. Example: did you know that the top three mistakes guys make whenever they gel their hair? So the three mistakes here to know. First mistakes, they gel, they don't wash away. And I'll just make this up. Second mistakes, they have scalp issue, then they just use any brand. Third mistakes, they don't cleanse their scalp clean enough and causes blockage because of the gel. Right? So these are some of the things that you can share to the people. Then once they a little bit understand really, they're interested, we hook them, right? So they're a bit more curious. Next thing that what we should do is to educate them. So you want to tell them Now you know the mistakes already. So right now what we are going to do is I'm going to show you best way to actually gel your hair without damaging your scalp that will cause you hair loss. And in fact, I will show you a way that you can style and gel your hair at the same time that it will promote hair growth. Would you be interested? Right? So most people will have that, wow, it's education. See, I don't sell things yet. So what I'm doing here right now is to actually build trust and relationship with people, especially my friend. So then people will start PM you. Hey, I see your this video. I saw you talk a little bit about this hair gel. You know, I have this hair loss issue. I have this scalp issue. What would you advise? So now I'm actually positioning myself as an expert already. That people come to me, right?
So basically, Mr. Alex, so what you're trying to say is, instead of selling your product, a lot of companies, they do this mistake of actually trying to sell their products online. Like, as a marketer, you should not be trying to sell your product, but instead providing them with a solution. Am I right?
Yes. Instead of selling, you educate first.
Yes.
Okay. So the 3 steps here, you educate, you nurture, then you convert. Right? So you educate them about the issue about hair gel nowadays, those brand XYZ, right? And the concern people have, for example, hair loss, for example, scalp damaging their scalp, skin sensitivity. So these are the issues. So you want to bring that out. You want to educate the public, right? Then you nurture. Nurture means building trust and relationship. People have to see you as a consultant, as an expert, not as a salesman, right? So no one like to, no one buys salesman. Salesman have to hard push, have to be hard sell. No, you are the expert, you are the consultant, you are the doctor. So you go to the doctor, right? So doctor will prescribe you medicine, and then you just say, then people will more likely to convince. So that's the positioning. Then only you convert, talking about why this product, why this brand, right? Based on all the features, the outcome, the benefits. Yeah. So educate, nurture, and then we convert.
All right, so Mr. Alex, so speaking of conversion and everything, right? So since we are here talking about zero cost social media marketing, I know it's really, really different from how paid ads and everything works, because okay, we are talking about a whole different thing. Paid ads is like, you're already starting to use money and all that. So if you're talking about conversions, right? How do we? What is your advice for people who want to minimize their expenditure on social media marketing? And okay, let's say for example, I'm running a company and I want to sell my product. My company is still new, so I want to maximize social media marketing without using any of my money. I want to promote my product to the right audience. How do I do that? That's okay. I
Okay.
know that's kind of a general question. How do I do that on Facebook, for instance?
Okay. We can go to Facebook, we can go to Instagram. Now the concept is always the same. The first critical pillar is to master the skill of content marketing. Right? So once you understand the power of social media versus plus content marketing, and then it's easier for you to actually getting the conversion, right? So go back to the question, you say, how do I target the right audience? You see, social media, if you don't pay, then it's a bit more organic way really. If let's say we talk about paid ads, right, we can target people who are living in this area, the gender, the age, the interest, right? But organically, zero cost, you can't do that. So one way we can do is do 2 things. The first is we join related group, closed group, private group, right? Group that has active users, or groups that they post regular stuff related to your niche and your topics. One way is to do that. Now, if you don't have, then you create your own, right? So you want to attract people who have the similar interest of that topic, right? So same thing with hair gel, right? So I want to attract men who have hair loss issue with hair gel. Then you can create a closed group or private group. So just keep them coming. Then you want to do the same thing, educate, you nurture the relationship with these groups of people, and then you convert. So that's the first thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do is you do filter. You can test out an offer. For example, let's say, again, I have about, let's say 2,000 friends, right, online in my post. So I can say something like, if I were to show you a simple way, right, how do you cleanse your scalp and style like a man, right, Mr. Universe, like a oppa in Korean, would you be interested? Or you can say, if I have 10 samples on this hair gel that can promote hair growth with fragrance, at the same time can attract your dream girl. If you're interested, leave a comment below and I will reach out to you. So what I just did is to create the curiosity and to attract people who are interested about these samples of this hair gel. If they are interested, say you, Robin, you're interested, you will say, oh, I'm interested, tell me more about it, or PM. So now I know that Robin is interested on this offer already. So most likely, I have a better chance to convert you, right? Because you are the one who say you are indicate your interest. Then I can have more conversation with you privately with these different people who commented. So these are two different ways that you can do it to help you to close and in a shorter period of time. Now, if you run ads, probably the sales cycle is shorter. If you do zero cost, you may take longer time because it takes time to build trust. Unless it is your friend. They are friend, warm market, hot market, then different story, right? Yeah. So this is how my suggestions to people who have limited budget, but at the same time want to target to the right group.
All right, so Mr. Alex, you were speaking about content. I did pick up a few of your points about content and everything. So, as a new business, how would you suggest to someone who is just starting up to come up with contents that actually engage with these kind of target market that they are actually looking at? So, let's say for instance, right, we are talking about a hair product and all that. So, what are the kind of content you would suggest for new businesses who are into hair care or any other business,
Right.
to actually come up with content that is engaging and it intrigues interest inside, this target market that we are talking about?
Right. So in our program, digital marketing certification program, right? I actually share with students different two types of content and 5 types of pillars that you can structure your content, and about 5 to 6 different methods to actually look out for content that people actually want to see. So right now, because of time, so I'm just going to share 2 to 3 methods to help you to come up with a content that your audience want to look at. So when you publish a content, there's 2 different mindsets that people will have. The first mindset is you want to create content that people want to see. Your audience want to see. The second mindset is you want to create content that you want people to know. Right? So there's these 2 different approach for you to make sure you're aligned, right? Won't go too out of the topic, right? So 2 things here, create content that your audience want to know, and you create content that you want your audience to know, right? Okay, so this is the 2 ways of thinking how to go about the content. Then talking about content ideation. So there are many ways. So the first easiest way is to write down the FAQ that people have. Right? For example, hair gel. What would the top 10 questions people ask when it comes to hair gel? It could come from your experience, or you can just Google search. Just type top 10 questions about choosing a hair gel for men, right? Or top 10 questions about hair gel that attracts your dream girl with fragrance, So see what are the questions people are asking in Google. Whatever search result comes out from Google means what? When there's an article, means actually people are looking for the kind of answer. So now you're actually creating content that most people want to know, right? Then the other thing is you can go to groups, forums to look at what people are asking right now. People will have questions. oh, I'm experiencing hair loss. I'm not sure, is it because of my diet or is it because of my hair gel, right? So that could be a content that you want to study, and then maybe you want to use that to educate your audience. So FAQ, questions people are asking in groups, in forums, right? Now, the third way is to think through misconception. What are the misconception people have about choosing a hair gel or product or services? Say you want to lose weight. So what is the misconception that people always have when it comes to losing weight? For example, they think that the only way is to have a very, very strict diet. Maybe there's a misconception. Number two, maybe they think that they just work on a place that have, let's say, the belly button, right? They just want to work on the belly button because that's the one that has most fat to lose fat in belly. So that maybe could also be the misconception. So you want to do that, and this is what you want your audience to know, right? So these are some of the ways that can help you structure a proper content and that can educate your audience, that will make yourself position yourself as the go-to person.
All right, so Mr. Alex, so since we are still talking about content, right? Let me just share with you a story that I came across, which I
Yes.
personally experienced a few weeks ago. So a friend of mine who is actually working in the real estate industry, he
Right.
came up to me. He's the marketer for that company. I'm not going to mention names, but yeah, he came up to me and he said, "Hey, bro, I'm actually working on this new campaign for Chinese New Year, and I would like to get your advice on copywriting and all that. I mean, I do have a fair share of what I usually do for copywriting in terms of like to use for my social media posts and all that. So I gave him an advice, but I wasn't too sure if it would work for his industry because the industry that I work in is like totally different. So for industries that actually take some time to build rapport on social media, let's say, yeah, like real estate, and also okay, maybe let's say lorry business. So a business where they promote their services of providing lorries for heavy duty items and all that. So for businesses like this, they can go through a hard time promoting their services and all. So what is your advice in terms of like copywriting and graphic, video, any type of content? What is your advice for these kind of companies? What kind of content they can come out for their social media posts?
You mean you're referring to those industry that is very niche, is it?
Yep.
And it's very technical,
Yes.
is it? Okay. Now when it comes to real estate, there are few ways. From what I know is you can talk about dream house. How should a person's dream home like, right? You can sell the dream, paint a picture. So that is one direction. The other direction is to selling the facts and investments, right? Selling to investors. So I think one very important question to ask is, who do I want to sell this to? Is this for parents? Is this for single person? Is this for retirees or a general investors? So once you know the target audience, then the copywriting is very niche down to different groups of people, right? Right. So that part is a real estate or property, right? Now the other one, let's say you talk about engineering like lorry business, these types, you may not, when you talk about technical stuff, people may feel boring, people don't understand, so can't connect. So what you want to do is you can create content that is related to your daily work routine. Like for example, lorry business behind the scene. You take a photo about a lot of container, a lot of boxes. So then I put captions about what am I doing right now, right? So I say, being in the lorry business, one of the challenges that we have is to pack all these things in within a given amount of time and then to put inside lorry and make sure the arrangement, everything is okay. So what am I doing here is, number one, I letting people know that I'm in lorry business. Number two, I want to educate you. I want to show you behind the scene, right? People like behind the scene stuff, just like a movie credit, movie NGs, right? Why do people like to see? Because it's like something like exclusive, something that people do not know, right? Then you educate at the same time, you use the behind the scene to actually build some trust and relationship with people. So you don't have to talk about 3 types of lorry business, because they are not your B2, these are more B2B, right? So you want to create that type behind the scene or the milestone types of content, right, on social media that can bring awareness and more trust to your audience. I'm not sure if I answer your questions. If not, you can ask again, Ravin.
I mean, I do get the whole idea of like how you explained it. So I think you kind of answered my question. So I hope my friend who actually asked me how to do that copywriting is watching us
He
right
talks
now.
about, his question is how to improve the copywriting, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So then let's talk about copywriting. So copywriting, there's a lot of formula out there. If you go Google, go online, now the most used in the world is this framework called AIDA, right? AIDA. So A stands for attention. So attention is always the headline, the hook. What is the sentence that you can hook people? And then I is the interest. You want to create the interest, curiosity on the product or services. And then D is the desire or the demand. You want to create the demand in a person's mind. And last is the action, call to actions, right? So if you follow the structure of this AIDA, it's going to help you to structure a better copywriting instead of, again, selling. Best property in KL, 3 bedrooms, 2 toilet, near where. That type of copywriting is a bit old school and it's very hard sell, right? So you see, you want to create what do you call a copywriting that is a little bit more human nature, right? A daily conversation like with friends, like that, instead of like a brochure type. Yeah. So that is my suggestions to your friend.
So in terms of like copywriting, I firmly believe like copywriting is really, really important because it somehow connects to how you feel. So it's really important how you write copywriting. Am I right, Mr. Alex?
Yes.
Because in a way, people want to hear human connection. People want to hear experiences. Am I right?
Yes.
So let's say for an industry which is really, really hard for us to talk about experience, right? Talk about experience. So, okay, let's say for example the lorry business again lah. So how do you think a lorry business should write their copywriting, in a way where it speaks about experience? Because I
But what do
firmly
they
believe.
what are they selling? The lorry business, what is their goal of the post?
So I would say, okay, maybe, okay, for instance, a lot of lorry business, where, okay, the lorry business that I'm talking about is like people who actually hire these companies to move their load and everywhere around, across the country and all that.
Right.
So how do these companies show experience to their potential clients?
Oh, okay. So they are moving lorry. So they move stuff from one place to one place. Say I
Yes,
have a
they are
new
movers.
home,
Yeah.
right? Okay. How? So the question is, how do we build what again? Sorry, trust. Is
How do
it
we build trust, or how do we show people
that
what
we
they
are
do or the
experienced?
experiences? Yep.
Yeah. Actually, come back to the point that shared just now is quite relevant. They can use behind the scene, right? Number one. Number two, they can talk about they can take photos together with the customers, right? A post, say, congratulations, Ravin, for moving to your dream house. And it's our honor to serve you by moving your furnitures and make sure it's on the tip-top sparkling conditions. And we want to make sure everything that moved to a new house is as new as when you hold the new key, right? So you say something about the audience itself instead of you say, oh, we have 10 lorries and all lorries can fit how many kg types of stuff. So it doesn't really connect with the audience. So what I'm doing is I'm talking about the stories and I supporting my client, right? So I'm not just a lorry business. I'm a business that can give you a hassle-free lifestyle without actually moving things yourself and to have a worry about, making the thing spoil. Now, this is just I made up stories because I'm not in lorry business. So this is what I can think of. So something that is about the person's stories, right? That's more connected, human connection, not just the features, not just the experience. So taking photo together with a person, talking about this family that you are helping is one way. Second is to give credit to your customer. How are you supporting them? Right? A story. So that could build trust because people love to look at inspiration. People always look for motivation, inspiration, and positive message or stories that move them.
All right. Okay. So for those of you who just joined, I really welcome you guys again. Thank you for joining us here today and all that with Mr. Alex, CEO of Media Funnel. And if you do have any questions, please drop in the comment section below, and we will get back to you once I've answered the right amount of questions for Mr. Alex. So okay, Mr. Alex, moving on. Let's talk about applications in terms of like, okay, let's say Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. So for a business who wants to start fresh, start new, and all that, so we were speaking about coming up with right content and all that. So for a new business, let's say, okay, product wise, if a business is selling a product, I think it's easier to sell because you're showing a product and you're also showing its benefits and it's tangible. So what about businesses who are into the service line? Like for example, movers, lorry movers and all that. So what are the kind of applications? I mean, maybe platforms. Let's talk about platforms. What are the kind of platforms they should use, and what are the kind of contents they should come up with?
Okay. Let's talk about the platform first. So in the class, we talk about this digital marketing framework where I would suggest the students to look at things separately first. So the first thing that we always look at is this called the platform, or we call it traffic sources. So where can they go to in the fastest and most effective way to get customers, right? So Facebook may or may not be. So some may not be. Some is just for awareness and branding first. Like if you do zero cost, you may take a bit of time. But what if you feel that you want faster results? Okay, if you want to look at the faster results, then you look at other platforms. Example, 𝐀𝐥𝐞𝐦𝐿.com. Let's say you are in the constructions or lorries moving industry, right? Or Service Hero, right? Just like when you have F&B, what other platform would you go to? Foodpanda, Grab, right? It's the same thing. If you are in the lorry business, if you are a plumber, if you are aircon service, if you are a wiring contractor, what is the marketplace that you can go inside that you can generate higher quality of leads straight away, right away? So these are the platforms that you can consider. And of course, you can actually go Google and type your keywords plus platform and see what comes up, right? Even let's say you want to sell, let's say your friends sell property, right? So where would people go to if they want to rent a place or buy a property? Ravin, where do you think they'll go to?
I think if it comes to properties, right, I would go to Facebook. I mean,
Okay,
if we're talking about social
right.
media, I think most probably
Other
Facebook.
than other than Facebook, where would you go to? Let's broaden out a bit.
In terms of social media, right, I would say I'm only limited to Facebook because
Okay.
there's a lot of marketplace and all
If it's
that.
not
But
Facebook, where will you go? Where
I
else would you
would
go?
probably outside of social media, like Muda, or
Right.
certain applications like rent my home or something like that.
Yes. So
Yeah.
this is correct. This is what we call customers buying journey. So other than Facebook, people look for property. They go to Muda. So where else will they go? They may go to iProperty, Property Guru. So these are the places where the audience hang out, right? So sometimes, let's say if they come back to your questions, let's say they want to find a platform to promote their business. Social media is just one of the channel. So, and I always encourage people look beyond that, right? You need to have a presence in social media, that's for sure. And at the same time, you also do not want to limit our mind only Facebook. So look at a broader terms, different channel that can help them generate more inquiries, and most importantly, most of them are free to get started.
All right.
So we're talking
So,
about social media.
mhm.
Of course, it depends. Some more people are more active in Facebook, or some people are more active in Instagram. That it would depends on your nature of the product and services.
All right, so Mr. Alex, let's talk about, let's put a person as a marketer or someone who has his own business, all right? So he does not have a big team of salesmen and all that. So okay, let's talk about someone who is selling a product which is self-made, a tailored product. So how does this person promote his or her product without going door to door? How do you maximize this social media if you're a one-man show?
When I started when I started my own business few years back, it's also one man show, and I do exactly the same zero cost social media first. I never spend ads to sell. Say I'm a digital marketer, I can run campaigns for you. Da 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 da. No, I don't do all of. I do none of that. I use zero cost social media. That's how I get started. So let's say your friend custom made something, right? The first thing that he or she must do is to have presence at places like Facebook and Instagram first. This is a minimum requirement, right? And then the second thing that he or she must do is to optimize the profile. For example, the does he or she have a proper profile picture, or is the picture is an object or animal? Have you seen someone's picture is actually a view? It's like a tree. It's not a person.
Hmm.
So cannot. You need to optimize your profile so that let people see you as a person first. People can connect with faces better than object. Okay. Then the second that you need to do is to go through the post, right? You need to post things more strategically, not anyhow post. So that's where content marketing comes in, right? What should you post? What shouldn't you post? How often should you post engagement types of posts? How often should you post a little bit about you as a person, your character, the other side of you? All right. So that would be another strategic way to help you brand yourself. So not just Facebook, you can apply the same thing in Instagram. Yeah. And then number 3 is to join group, or you create a group. Do the same thing that I share with you, just 3 things only. Education, then you nurture them, then you convert them. Right.
All right. So, okay, Mr. Alex, so, based on my experience, right, I think since we are talking about, living in an endemic, and a lot of us are using social media to market our products and services, right? So, and another thing that I noticed, right, a lot of these new businesses, instead of using the traditional way of going to Facebook, starting off with Facebook and all, now they are starting off with TikTok. So I know TikTok is pretty new, it's still new. How would you recommend someone who is starting a business? Let's talk about product, the easier one. Let's talk about product. So how would you recommend someone who's starting a business and they want to use TikTok to promote their product? What are the do's and don'ts on TikTok for these kind of people?
Okay. So if you are using, if you let's say assuming your target audience is in TikTok, right? then you want to grow your channels on TikTok, right? So first thing that should do in TikTok, you need to educate and entertain your audience, right? TikTok by nature is a short video, right?
Yep.
So why would TikTok become the fastest growing social platform, right? And one of the most downloaded app in 2019, 2020. Why? Because of the engagement of the short video, and it's very entertaining, it's straightforward. Right. So that is the thing we need to do. So after now you may not be a singer or you may not be a dancer, but that's okay. But you need to find a little bit of humor or something that can ignite an emotion when people look at your video, right? So that's one thing that you should do. So one thing that you shouldn't do on TikTok is to hard sell. Again, people go to social media, TikTok, doesn't matter, Instagram, Twitter, what do? They are there to consume content. So is your content inspiring? Does your content has value? Right? Does your content engage? Does your content connect? Now, let's say go back to the hair gel or any product that you sell. You don't always talk about, oh, this hair gel is best, buy now, right? So what you want to do is do the same thing, educate. 3 mistakes. Just now that I shared you can use a post or you can do a short video plus effects and songs that can take the entire video to another level, right? So when it comes to TikTok, if you know how to act, if you know how to sing or incorporate your talent or the humor side of you, that is an advantage, right? So this is my suggestions, because I do TikTok myself. I also do Instagram Reels, and I like doing that, right? Because we are all young, all right, Ravin? So
Yep.
we're all young, so we try stuff. So what you want to do is to edutain, education plus entertainment, right?
So, okay, let's say, Mr. Alex. So now, a company, right? They want to keep things professional. They want to keep things professional and all that. Would you say, can we add the element of entertainment into professionalism? When we are talking about, doing TikTok, okay, like you said, TikTok has to be something entertaining, something trendy and all that. Do you think it's possible for a company which is professional, they practice professionalism? Can you add the element of professionalism and entertainment into a single plate?
Sure. Professional doesn't mean serious all the way, right? Right? You're professional at the same time you are entertaining. Possible, right? But it's a bit hard to catch. Most people will feel that professional equals serious. Professional equals boring, right? So that's the association that the person need to be aware of. It's two separate things. Huh? So you can be professional. I'm a dentist. So how do I educate young children how to brush the teeth? So I can put a song, I can dance a little bit with my props and rap a little bit if I know how to rap, right? So I'm professional, I'm a dentist. I know what I'm doing. And I'm teaching the right, correct method to your kids on how to brush their teeth. True?
Yeah.
Same thing as lawyer, right? So the lawyer has to be professional, right? Now you can also be entertaining. In a way, you share story. Okay, here are the 3 things that you shouldn't tell the judges, or here are the 3 rights as a consumer you should know. Then you can act a little bit. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Right? So you can act a little bit. You can use a person. People don't want to just look at the professional or look at the serious side of you. They can connect better if you know you a bit more. So let them enter your world a little bit, be a little bit vulnerable, be a little bit yourself, right? So that will create a better engagement and rapport with people. Then always, I'm a marketer, I do marketing, boring stuff, technical stuff. No, right? I'm a marketer, but I also like funny stuff, right? So I do a lot of funny video on TikToks and Instagram Reels, right? And I was a musician last time, right? So I like to play piano. So this is just me, right? So you being you, and it's the best way to attract your dream customers, people who you want to work with. Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Alex, so before we move into our Q&A session,
Sure.
right? What is one final advice? I wouldn't say final advice, but let's say, like a simple structure for our viewers here today, for them to, practice zero cost social media marketing. What are the tips that, baseline tips that you can give them for someone who wants to start using social media, but not spend any money?
Right. All right. So first thing, optimize your profile, your Facebook profile and your Facebook page. Get a professional shoot if you have to. That I always do this every single year. I change. I go to engage a professional photographer to shoot a professional photos for me. Right. So you want to create different brand. You want to build your personal brand, right? So you have to do it in a proper way. So the first impression, because your page, your profile is the first impression, right? People will check you out. And then number two is the bio description. How do you write something such that people will remember you? Okay. And then number three is the posting. How can you post more strategically that people will cheer you on, will support you, will love what you do, and really recommend their friends, their friend, their boyfriend, girlfriend, their husband, wife to buy products from you, right? So that's how I started too. When I started to post video on TikTok, I just want to play with TikTok, right? That's my hobby. So you know what happened is there are actually few people who are bosses, or they recommend the bosses to ask me to teach TikTok, to open a class to teach TikTok. So that's how it will comes to you. And you will also create a seeding. When you do all these things, right, it's a seeding process, you see. It may not germinate straight away. You may not see the result right away, but you are putting seeds in people's mind. So when people think about hair gel, lorry business, marketing, right, example, property, they will think of you first, not anyone else. So that's the goal of social media marketing for zero cost if you want to do that. So you build brand at the same time authority. That is something that I hope that everyone can keep in mind, because it's my real life experience and I know how it works. So I just want to share with you my journey. This is the same thing strategy that I use to build partnership, long-term customers, and even get corporate clients. Right?
Right. So, Mr. Alex, so before we move on, right, I think the common misconception that people have when we are talking about social media marketing and all that is like, oh, I think if I use social media, my reach will go beyond expectation, which is true, but it takes time. Am I right, Mr. Alex?
It's a yes and no thing. Okay. Let's say you're talking about virality. If you post a very good content on Facebook page, and your Facebook page has about 1%, 10%, 100 likes, 1,000 likes, probably your reach is very little, right? Unless the video is really viral and all your friends just share. Okay. So Facebook page usually has lower reach. So your viral effect may like stuck like that. If you put it on your personal profile, you get more reach, because Facebook prioritize personal profile over pages, right? If you want to verify the truth, you just go to Facebook page, right? You just type any big brand names, Watson, Guardian, Nestle. You look at that post. How many posts? The post that they how many likes they have, and how many engagement do they have usually in the post? It's very little. But if you do it in the personal profile, you can get more reach and easier to get viral actually also. Yeah. Now, the fastest way to get exposure, to get viral, even you don't have a lot of fans, if you have 100 friends, 1,000 friends, but you want to get your video like crazy exploded, you can use my suggestions is to do TikTok video or Instagram Reels. Okay, right. So one of my experience is I have a TikTok reel, Instagram Reels, which I posted in TikTok. I have about 1,000 followers in Instagram. So I just post a funny video, short video, and the video got viral, got a 20,000 view, about 1,000 plus likes, right? But I only have 1,000 friends. So how can I get 20,000 view, right? But that's how Instagram Reels works now, similar to TikTok. But that's not how Facebook run, right? So it's different platform, different algorithm, and then different reach, and yeah. So this is my experience.
I think since we're talking about experience, right, Mr. Alex? So I had my personal fair share of experience using TikTok. So basically, I went to this one like a burger shop, like a restaurant. So I went there and then I was like, hey, this would be a nice time to kick off a TikTok career. I would say a TikTok career. So I did do a TikTok on like basically not I wouldn't say a review, but it's more of like my point of view in that that particular restaurant. So I just what I did was nowadays people will want to go to cafes or restaurant which is
Right.
aesthetic. So I took pictures, I took videos of the place, the aesthetic parts of the place, and the food especially. And not gonna lie, that particular TikTok really blew up, and I had around 200k views and like 30,000 likes and all that. So and plus, given the fact that I do not have much followers because I only just started my account, I
Yeah.
would say that zero cost social media marketing do work, ladies and gentlemen, because you see, people want to go places, people want to go try things out. So you need to give them a reason to go out there and try things, and you need to show them your point of view because a lot of times people will want to see another person's point of view. It might not be the same, but it creates a idea of what it is in their minds. Would you agree with me on that,
Yeah.
Mr. Alec?
True. That is true. So you have the same experience also, right? So
Yep.
it actually works. Right? So I have to
See,
be consistent, and sometimes because like people will say, oh, I've published a lot of videos, a lot of content, but I don't have engagement. So sometimes maybe it's just the way that we do video is not that engaging, right? So we need to reflect and see how to create it, make it more engaging, right? You will never know which video on which day is going to explode. You never know. So the goal here is to do it consistently. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's not a one-off thing. It's something that you need to do it consistently. Then you will see the result and the growth.
all right. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, before we move into our Q&A session, right? Before we move into our Q&A session, I'd like to share something with you here for those who are watching. I'm not sure why we can't see this. Are you able to see this, Mr.
I
Alex?
can see the brochure.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we move into our Q&A session, I'd like to take this opportunity to promote our upcoming Executive Certificate in Digital Marketing course. You might wonder what is it? Am I right? So, this course, which is a 16-week comprehensive course covering 8 modules, which includes topics such as SEO, website optimization, and Google Ads, and so much more. So we have not only Mr. Alex. So Mr. Alex, you'll be joining us during this course, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
So
All
not only
right.
do we have Mr. Alex, but we have 2 other trainers alongside him to guide you throughout the whole course. So our first intake will be on the 15th of March 2022. So do not miss out on this amazing opportunity to learn more about digital marketing in a more broader point of view. So do contact us. You can scan the QR code in the brochure itself. So don't miss out this opportunity to learn from Mr. Alex about more about digital marketing and all. So Mr. Alex, would you like to share anything with our
I
viewers
think we
here
can
today?
go to the Q&A sessions. then I can share a bit more.
All right. Okay, so let's move on to the Q&A session, Mr. Alex. So, Mr. Alex, we have a question from Mr. Chu here. Let me just bring it up for you.
Mm.
All right. So, Mr. Chu here asked us, like, if we want to create the content, is it a must do some research regarding FAQ, or can we create it ourselves?
You can create it yourself as long as you, it can be based on your own experience, or it can be based on your past clients' experience. Say you have served 50 clients before or 10 clients before. I'm sure 10 of them will ask similar repeated questions. So that would be the question that you can take in as FAQ. Right? And of course, add in some research, because sometimes there's only so much we can think of. So with a little bit deeper research, you can expand your topic pool. So you get more options to choose and create a content.
All right.
Yeah.
So I hope that answered your question. I hope that presentation or maybe idea that you have gave answered Mr. Chu's question. So moving on to the next one, Mr. Sugnesh has asked us here. It's a pretty long question actually. Let me just bring it up. Let's say after educating and nurturing our customers, as a startup, how can we reach out to more customers with zero cost marketing? How does the algorithm of a post without paid advertisement work?
All right. Okay. So I think he also mentioned, I guess my question has been answered, but no worries. Let me just summarize. If you want to reach out to more people, first thing, you do it from your Facebook profile first, faster. Let your friends know. Let everyone know. Let everyone becomes your ambassador. Let everyone be the fans of you, so they can reach out to more people to talk a bit more about your product and services. If you use page and you're starting out, it will going to take a very long time. Okay. And number two is to create a group, right? Create a group. And number three, you want to get even more reach, more viral types of content, then consider TikTok video and Instagram reels. Yeah. So that would be something that I will suggest you to do.
All right, moving on to our next question, Mr. Alex. So Mr. Megat Jani here has asked us, how about Indeed? Is it a good platform?
Indeed, I think is a social media management platform. Is it? I'm not sure about Indeed. Let me do a quick search. What is Indeed?
If I'm not mistaken, Indeed is a platform.
Job application.
Job application, yep.
Good platform in terms of Megan, do you want to expand a little bit more? Are you talking about hiring for recruiting, or you're talking about as a platform to do advertising?
Okay, let's say for example, Mr. Alex, if it's for hiring, do you think it's a good platform for companies? You know, some companies, we do have companies who recruit people to recruit into another company. Do you think it's a good platform?
I never used Indeed before, so I can't comment on that. But I do have good experience with JobStreet and Work, and also Facebook Job. So Facebook page, right? You can create a job, and people can apply there. So I actually have 2 to 3 candidates who are very talented apply the job, a career on my site. So Facebook is pretty good. If you don't even need to run ads to hire, huh? You just create a job and then just post it there, and people will come and find you. Right? And I think WOP is a little bit more for building the culture, happiness at work. It's more modern types of job portal. I also have encountered a lot of good candidates over there. JobStreet is a bit mixture, right, between younger generations and also people who are experienced in the workspace. Yeah. So I also guess it depends on your industry, what kind of people are you looking at. But generally, these are the 3 platforms that I have good experience in. Indeed, I never used before, so I can't comment on that. Can't give you an answer.
All right, but if you do get an answer, Mr. Alex, do catch up with Mr. Megat to actually give him an answer on it, right?
Actually, what I think you can do is you test out first. But if you want to save cost, you can try Facebook. Facebook.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our first episode of Sembang Santai Marketing here with Mr. Alex. So, Mr. Alex, before we leave, what is one final advice for our viewers out here to maximize social media marketing without using any of their money?
Okay, so remember the three things I shared with you: nurture, educate, nurture, and then convert. Now that's one thing. Second thing, focus on adding value to your audience. Don't sell them, right? You educate them by providing valuable content. Then be consistent on what you're posting because that is your brand, right? And think about how do you want to position yourself in the marketplace. So you can do that not just offline, but also do that online, right? So be consistent and be patient, and the result may not come in straight, but I guarantee you it will work for a long term, right? Maybe if you're good in video marketing, right? Example, you're good in shooting TikTok, Instagram Reels, that could give you a little bit boost of the journey of using zero cost marketing to achieve your marketing goal, right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here today. But it's not the end of our digital marketing journey here. It's never the end. But do join us next week with Mr. Alex again, as he will be talking about another new topic. Do you want to know what topic it is about? So stay tuned. Do like us on Facebook. Do follow us on YouTube. I hope Mr. Alex have given you a good idea of how to use social media marketing to its maximum potential. And I hope to see you guys same time next week. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Take
Thank you
care.
everyone for your time. I wish you all the best and catch up next sessions. All right, can prepare questions and come to us anytime. And thank you again, Excel Academy and Ravin, for your time and effort. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Alex. So see you guys next week, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.